Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an urgent search is underway for a missing tourist submersible. We're learning 5 people were on board when it disappeared Sunday. We hear the latest on what we know about the missing vessel. And investigators say they suspect foul play in the death of a 67-year-old man found in the yard of a Victoria home yesterday. We have the details on the investigation. Plus, former President Trump talks the federal indictment. The details on this story and more are straight ahead.
Take a look on the outside. This is a live view from the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex. We see some clouds in the distance. Could that mean rainfall for us? Well, definitely hotter temperatures still in store for us again. And also the tropics are coming hotter as well, more active that is. We'll give you details coming up.
Local gymnasts are competing in Oklahoma for a national title. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
Trey Mining here.
And today it's the 20th day of June 2023. The time is now 6:31 on your Tuesday morning, and today it is World Refugee Day. Now, 4 of the main reasons a person becomes a refugee, Trey, it's war, oppression, climate change, and natural disasters. So take, for instance, the Haitian refugees that were pushed out of their homes because of the hurricanes.
Exactly. We've seen it time and time again. So we thoughts and prayers go out to those folks for their safety. For us here, we need our safety too.
Definitely.
It's definitely on the hot side outside today.
Need to seek some refuge from the heat.
Seek some refuge from the heat under a cold ice cream cone or some ice or our pool to jump into. It would be my good advice. And let's take a look at the live view, of course. There we go from the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex, seeing the traffic there on the highway and Lone Tree Road going along pretty nicely. 82 degrees already, and it tells you right there there's going to be a hot day today. Heat index value is above the century mark. Feels like 92 degrees on the outside currently. So that's just, we're just starting with this. I tell you what, it's going to be another hot day today with good visibility, 6 miles or so. No precipitation out there, of course, thanks to high pressure for that, giving us the sinking air. Temperatures currently mid-80s along the immediate coast already. 82 degrees here in Victoria, 81 or so from Cuero, up there to Gonzales and Yoakum areas. And of course at noon today, we have the excessive heat warning going into effect until 8 p.m. All the areas you see here in the this reddish pink color here, that means the excessive heat warning that's the coverage area. Of course, it means very volatile temperatures, definitely at the century mark or higher. Let's take a look at the anticipated heat index values throughout the day. 11 a.m., keep that in mind, 11 a.m., 103 here in Victoria heat index value. By 2 o'clock, 111 heat index value coming up by this afternoon, 114 by 6 p.m. This is definitely in the dangerous category no matter what, because you need to stay inside if you can during heat index values like this. It won't take long. Don't have to put any effort into it to get heat exhaustion even worse out there if you're out for any length of time during the hottest part of the day. Stay safe out there. What about the tropics? They're heating up, I just mentioned. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. An urgent search and rescue operation is underway for a missing tourist submersible. The U.S. Coast Guard launched a search after the submersible disappeared on Sunday while exploring the wreckage of the Titanic, about 900 nautical miles east of Cape Cod. This file video of a submersible called the Titan, owned by OceanGate Expeditions, a private company that charters tours with its research teams to explore the Titanic. It's unclear if this is the same model that is currently missing. Sources have learned that 5 people are on board the missing vessel, but it's not clear how many may be tourists or crew. In a statement, OceanGate says, in part, "We are exploring and mobilizing all options to bring the crew back safely. Our entire focus is on the crew members in the submersible and their families." We'll go to Washington for the latest on the disappearance later on Sunrise. Investigators believe foul play is involved in the death of a 67-year-old man. He was found unconscious in a yard in the 600 block of East Wan Lin. Police were dispatched to the residence just before 7:30 yesterday evening. Police say they found the man unresponsive when they got to the scene. An investigation later revealed the man was dead. His death currently being investigated as a homicide. Officers believe this was an isolated incident. The general public is not in danger. Goliad City Council members have voted to ban Goliad Mayor Brenda Moses' husband from City Hall. This story reported by the Goliad Advance Guard. The ban passed in a 3-2 vote at the City Council's June 14th meeting. The City Council now plans to look into a verbal altercation between the mayor's husband, Jason Moses, and the Goliad finance officer. The dispute happened on May 10th. Jason Moses banned from City Hall until the council has received the results of the investigation. In a new interview, former President Trump shedding new light on that federal indictment in the classified documents case. He spoke to Fox News about a key piece of evidence in the case, and he offered an explanation.
This morning, former President Trump is addressing a key piece of evidence in the federal indictment stemming from his handling of classified documents.
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles.
Prosecutors say Trump is heard on audio showing what he called secret information to people at his New Jersey golf club in 2021 and acknowledged the document was classified and highly confidential. But in a new interview with Fox News, Trump says he was not referring to an actual document on that recording.
I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
Trump has pleaded not guilty to 37 federal charges, including conspiracy and obstruction. Prosecutors accuse him of illegally keeping classified documents at his Florida resort. Trump now says he had personal items mixed in with those documents, which is why he says he did not comply with the subpoena to return the records.
Golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes.
Trump also talking about his campaign, saying he wants to be less combative if he gets a second term. But he also intensified his feud with his former Attorney General Bill Barr after Barr blasted Trump this past Sunday.
You know, he's like a defiant 9-year-old kid who's always pushing the glass toward the edge of the table, defying his parents to stop him from doing it.
Bill Barr, who's, a coward. Bill Barr was a coward. Bill Barr didn't do what he was supposed to do. I fired him, and he has great hatred.
Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, in a separate development, new details from the January 6th investigation, the Washington Post reports the Justice Department delayed plans to investigate Trump's role in the January 6th attack by 15 months out of concern that the Justice Department would look too partisan. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing Monday. His visit to the country is aimed at easing spiraling tensions between the world's two largest economies. Blinken's China trip is the first by a U.S. Secretary of State since 2018. He's also the highest-ranking U.S. leader to visit China since President Biden took office. Prior to the meeting, Xi said Blinken had candid and in-depth discussions with other senior Chinese leaders, also saying the two sides made progress and reached agreement on some specific issues. Secretary Blinken's meetings with Xi is expected to touch a number of areas of dispute, including trade, Taiwan, human rights, Chinese military aggression in the South China Sea, and Russia's war in Ukraine. A tractor-trailer carrying French fries lost its load in Provo, Utah, causing a headache for motorists on Sunday. Utah Highway Patrol says this truck was traveling northbound on Interstate 15 when it drifted across the left lanes and collided with a barrier and a light pole. The collision ripped the side of the trailer open, scattering boxes and bags of French fries across the southbound and northbound lanes of traffic. It took crews several hours to clean up the spilled spuds and left traffic backed up in the area into Sunday evening. No injuries were reported. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The Crossroads looking to beat the heat this week with climate conditions sky high.
The Coast Guard is still searching for that missing Titanic tourist submersible. I'm Ike Ajachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, how crews are searching for the missing vessel.
Take a look at the day planner for Cuero today. Starting off 80 degrees this morning, 93 degrees by 12 noon, 101, 102 by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sunny skies, and still in the 90s by 8 p.m. the sun begins to go down. During this time right here, we'll have triple-digit heat index values approaching 115 to 120, perhaps in DeWitt County. So please be careful, that's in the dangerous category. What about the rest of the forecast for us and the tropics? We'll talk about that coming up. Good morning, good morning. Excuse me, meteorologist Trey Mining here to take a look at the tropics. Well, so far pretty quiet in the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea, and majority of the Atlantic Ocean, except for out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean between the Lesser Antilles and the coast of Africa. We have Brett, a new tropical storm. It was formed yesterday and given the name yesterday. It's still hanging in there at 40-mile-per-hour winds. Has pretty good circulation around it. According to the Hurricane Center model and the computer models, has it moving pretty much due west, and could be anywhere south of Hispaniola coming up by later on in the week into the weekend. We'll keep watching it, of course. And then behind that is another system here. We could be, and next name storm coming up. That is Invest 93L, you see right there. And computer models have it moving to the west like Brett will be, but curving off to the north as high pressure breaks down a little bit and taking it to the north as well. We'll keep watching these systems, of course. Of course, it's very much in the beginnings of hurricane season, so it's a little unusual to see something this far out, but not totally unheard of. We'll keep watching these and look at our hot temperatures coming out later on in the forecast before we go this half hour. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. The national championships are ongoing, and sports director Gino Perez has the latest.
Howdy, Crossroads. Multiple gymnasts are competing in Oklahoma and looking to become national champions. A few full-force gymnasts are at the U.S. Championships in Tulsa, and the competition started on Sunday. 3 of the 5 athletes are from the local gym and returning as national champions from the previous year. The 3 are Callie Ganaway, Daisy Rickman, and Serenity Holt. Rickman won the level 8 trampoline last year and looking to win back-to-back titles this year. Ganaway took silver last season but won the national title a couple years ago in trampoline. Serenity is also a former national title winner in level 6 trampoline. Rickman will be returning with a medal this year from double mini competition after she took 2nd place out of 65 athletes in the nation. In the tumbling events, Ganaway took 11th, Hull took 32nd, while Kendall Helms made the top 10, placing 9th, and Lorelei Garza took 12th place in trampoline. But she would go on to win a bronze in double mini. She finished in 3rd out of 71 girls in the nation. That's your 25 Sports Now.
Thank you, Gino. All right, we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads today. Plus, you can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now onto the frantic search for the Titanic tourist submersible, the vessel missing since Sunday morning with 5 people on board, and now experts are painting a grim picture regarding the rescue efforts.
This morning, rescue crews from the Coast Guard are reaching a critical point in the search for a missing submersible carrying 5 people touring the wreckage of the Titanic. The Coast Guard tweeting out an update Monday night saying crews will be working throughout the evening by both ship and aircraft, scouring an area over 900 miles off the coast of Massachusetts with water as deep as 13,000 feet, making the search extremely difficult.
We need to make sure that we're looking both on the surface for the vessel if it had surfaced back to the water, but had somehow lost communications with the vessel, and that's what the aircraft and the surface search vessel is allowing us to do right now.
The ship left Newfoundland, Canada on Friday, carrying a submersible operated by OceanGate Expeditions. That vessel started its voyage down to the Titanic on Sunday morning. Officials say the ship lost contact with the sub an hour and 45 minutes into the dive. OceanGate Expeditions says the submersible can hold 5 people, including the pilot, and has enough oxygen for 96 hours. The sub itself doesn't have a GPS, but is guided to the wreckage site by the ship above via text message. The round trip is at least 8 hours long. The sub is supposed to rise to the surface if any problems occur.
If they're not on the surface, it's a very hard problem because now they're 2 miles underwater. Even the rescue submarines that we made for our warfighting submarines aren't designed to go that deep.
And now, ABC News is learning that among the missing passengers is British billionaire Amish Harding, his company confirming he was on board, posting on Facebook just hours before the dive. Since 2021, OceanGate Expeditions has offered tourists paying roughly $250,000 a chance to travel with scientists studying the doomed ocean liner 2 miles at the bottom of the ocean. Now, the vessel used is called the Titan, and it's the only one in the world able to carry 5 people to Titanic depths. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
The Crossroads looking to beat the heat this Juneteenth with climate conditions sky high over the holiday. A Victoria Mall store manager told us most customers showed up earlier in the day just to keep cool yesterday. And weekends are generally the busiest shopping time periods. But with the day off on a Monday, a lot of customers came in to make an item return.
Yes, more returns than normal Mondays, definitely. But again, we have customers coming in and shop. If it's still a holiday, so we're still doing well.
Store employees acknowledged that at the very least, people can get out of the heat and into an air-conditioned environment. That leads us to your viewer poll. How are you staying cool? Okay, let's take a look. 1% of you say you're visiting the shops, 5% of you say you're swimming, don't forget that sunblock, and 81% of you, just like me, we're staying home or watching TV probably, and 13% of you say you're trying something different. All right, we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll, and we'll check out those answers throughout the day. Okay, the time is now 6:47 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come, a group of hackers are not standing down on a threat to leak data stolen from Reddit. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Alice. Happy Juneteenth birthday to our beautiful mama. You are a blessing to us all. We pray that you have a birthday filled with love, joy, and many blessings. Love from all your family.
And happy birthday, a big birthday to superstar singer and American Idol judge Lionel Richie. He is 74, once twice, 3 times a lady.
She's a brick house, Trey.
Exactly.
And John Goodman is celebrating a birthday today. The award-winning actor is 71. He's so great in those Righteous Gemstones, Trey.
Exactly. You can see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise. Come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More under Home. You'll see the KVU Submit Your Birthday.
And the time is now 6:48 on your Tuesday morning. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating one today, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning. 6:51 is the current time, and don't forget, excessive heat warning in effect for our region goes into effect at 12 noon to 8 p.m. for all the Crossroads counties you see here, pretty much the entire area. And what this means is a warning. It means you need to take this seriously. Is life-threatening heat coming up, 115 or higher heat index value throughout the day today in the afternoon. And that's definitely a very big sign that you need to be careful out there and stay inside if you can, away from the heat in the afternoon especially. A few high clouds this morning, otherwise nice and sunny throughout the afternoon time. Yeah, it's nice and sunny, but definitely it's heating up the atmosphere, causing our dangerous heat index values again today. And no big changes in the weather pattern for the next several days, as high pressure is planted over the region, not really moving too much. 100 degrees today, that's the air temperature, 110 or higher heat index value today in Victoria. Overnight lows will be in the upper 70s, near 80 degrees, partly cloudy skies. And then for your day tomorrow, high temperatures once again near 100 degrees, maybe a degree or two cooler, maybe. We'll take it near 120 degree heat index value throughout the day. Extended forecast for us, heat in, rain out, sunny skies in as well, high temperatures into next week.
A group of hackers isn't standing down on its threat to leak data stolen from Reddit. Hackers from the Black Cat ransomware gang are threatening to leak confidential data from Reddit that they claim that they had stolen during a February breach. That's from a post from the group on the dark web, which was reviewed by sources and an independent cybersecurity expert. In their post, the hackers claim they first demanded a $4.5 million payout for the deletion of the data and their silence in April. After receiving no response, the group said it followed up on Friday with an additional demand. Reddit should withdraw a controversial new pricing policy that has sparked protests from some of the platform's most influential users. A new poll suggests parents should take children's stomach pain more seriously. A poll found 1 in 6 parents say their child complains of tummy aches at least once a month, and while 1 in 3 parents surveyed are confident they can identify whether the belly pain is serious, parents do not always seek out professional advice when these complaints become regular. The poll found 2 in 5 parents who report monthly belly pain for their child have not discussed the issue with a pediatrician. C.S. Mott Children's Hospital at the University of Michigan Health conducted the poll. It's based on more than 1,000 responses from parents of children ages 3 to 10. Still to come on Sunrise News to Know Before You Go. A 9-year-old boy apparently drowned after he went missing near a pond in Pennsylvania. A 9-year-old boy drowned after he went missing near a pond in Pennsylvania. Police arrived at the pond Monday evening in New Britain Township, a suburb of Philadelphia. Officers say they found the boy's bike and a fishing pole near the pond, but he was nowhere to be found. A dive team from a local fire department found the boy in the water. Paramedics took him to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police are investigating the incident. The Utah author is suing the estate of the husband she is accused of killing. Curry Richens filed a lawsuit against the estate of Eric Richens. She is fighting for half of all equity in the couple's home. Their house is worth nearly 5 times what the couple paid for it in 2012, but the legal title was in Eric's name. Richens also wants the court to honor the couple's prenuptial agreement, which gives her Eric's share in his stonemasonry business since he died while they were married. Richens is accused of poisoning Eric with a deadly dose of fentanyl, and several allegations in the case allude to the couple's finances being a possible motive. Her lawsuit does not mention the criminal case. A tornado ripped through parts of Mississippi Monday afternoon, leaving behind a path of destruction. A tornado touched down in Moss Point shortly before 3 p.m. Downed trees and debris were reported throughout the area. Authorities say at least 100 structures were damaged and destroyed by the storm. Street flooding is also an issue in some areas. Thousands of residents are without power. Currently, there is no timetable for restoration. Ganado police asking for the public's help on a pile of trash. They are looking for information on who dumped the trash in an open area in the northern part of Ganado. Any information can be shared anonymously with the Ganado Police Department at 361-771-2800 or by calling the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. That's 361-782-3541. The Chisholm Trail Heritage Museum hosted a Juneteenth celebration last night in Cuero. The museum invited the community to learn about the history of Juneteenth and its impact on the country. Sarah Bird shared her work with Black cowboys and rodeos through the 1970s. Other speakers shared the importance of the holiday to our region. People at the event could still catch the exhibit just across the hall as the event continued. Along with learning, the event was a party for Black joy, pride, and freedom. See some familiar faces there. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's take a look at our forecast with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining.
And thank you, Carolina. Keep in mind the main thing we need to be aware of today is the excessive heat warning again for triple-digit heat index values in the dangerous category for northern parts of Calhoun County into Victoria County. A few clouds throughout the day. Air temperature near 100 degrees or so, with heat index value approaching 110. Overnight lows in the 70s. They're 80 degrees. Highs tomorrow, once again, the triple digits. And we're keeping it hot and dry coming up for the next 7 days, of course. Be mindful of the heat index value throughout the day. Stay safe out there and keep cool. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join James, Dawn, Karina, Mac, and Gino today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.